views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hey everyone, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Welcome to Open BXRX. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. We always say that, right? It's a beautiful thing. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from a church youth teacher about an online series and how it is impacting our community. Then we'll highlight the latest in the work of a local author. Then after that, we'll speak to a director of a nursery school to learn more about the work that they are doing with our youth and to reflect on the legacy of an impactful member of the school community. And then Bobby C is going to step into the room with the latest in the world of sports. And then finally, we'll hear from a representative, or a couple of them, from a bank that's opening a new branch. You don't want to miss this. It's a brand new branch in our community, and you're going to learn about the financial resources that they are offering. All of this and more headed your way because we are now wide open. Well, hello, here we go. Another day, another way. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through BronxNet social media, BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is a youth teacher for the Lifestyle Ministry Series, and she's with us today to speak about how her church has this online series and how they got started and why faith has played such an impactful role in her work with our youth. So please welcome to the show, Letitia Davis. Letitia, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for the opportunity to speak on something amazing that I feel like our church is doing.
Yeah, so you have this online service going on, and a lot of people had to go to that due to the pandemic. But you got it going on. How's it working out for you?
It's working out very well, I must say. And of course, teaching the youth, they're the best with the gadgets, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think they're doing better with the online than the adults are. I will say that. But it's going very well. We are now on the YouTube platform as well as on our church platform, the two different areas where people can jump online and look at the Lifestyle Ministry series. That was developed because of the pandemic. And we felt that, okay, we need to stay in contact. The church wasn't physically open. We're actually still not physically open. We're still doing everything virtual. And we just needed to do something to just connect and just still a word of encouragement and hope, because words are powerful. Words make you, words break you,
That's right.
So this series definitely, gave birth last year because of the pandemic, and it's been a beautiful, and we've been getting very good feedback.
We should come over and help you guys out with a radio station. I build radio stations through my foundation to make the great foundation for education. And we built one at Mount Olive Baptist Church, but it's over there in Bergen County. And you can go there, you can tune in, and it sounds cleaner than these regular radio. It sounds cleaner than some stations that I listen to sometimes.
Beautiful.
But we have Zoom and everything too, and all these other platforms. But you're right, youngsters know how to put it together, and that's what this was built for. But the pastor got wind of it. He said, "You know what? I can do my sermons on Sunday."
Yes.
The pastor's going on. Well, you're a youth pastor, so you have access to it.
Yes. So as a youth minister, well, I'm a minister, but I just work with the youth. Yes, right. And my pastor definitely, it's funny. Our theme for this year is, let me read you the theme. The theme is changing the way we do church. New season, new method, same word.
Yeah,
And it's
wow.
funny because although that's our theme across the board, look at you right now, right? Doing your interviews, and you guys are not in the studio, everything is virtual, but we still have to make it happen no matter what's going on in this world. We have to still keep focused on what the Lord wants us to do.
Letitia, how did you get involved in this? How did you, what prompted you to want to do this?
I've been a born again Christian for 15 years, and I've been with my church that long. Yeah. And it's so weird because teaching is not something I ever thought I wanted to do. And about 7-8 years ago, the Holy Spirit gave me a nudge saying, "You're going to teach." And I was like, "No, I'm not. Teach who? I'm still learning. I'm still a baby in Christ." 2 weeks later, my pastor calls me and tells me he wanted me to join the Christian education ministry. And I was like, "Oh, the Holy Spirit can't lie."
That's
and
right.
I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay, we can do this." And when the Holy Spirit told me, he said, "You're going to teach teens." And I'm like, "Okay, teens." But when I started doing the 8 and 9-year-old for like 8 months. It was so nerve-wracking. And then they switched me over to the teens. And now I teach from 13 to 18. And I've been doing that group for 5-6 years. And I have such a big passion for that group because myself, 13 years old, not liking certain things in my surrounding, thought about taking my life, thought about taking pills. And I had the right person in my ear at that age to say the right thing to me. So right now, the teens.
And now you're standing in the gap, and you can be the right person for a lot of the youth who are going or feeling some of that same thing that you felt.
Right. And sometimes we take their feelings, we take it for granted because the things that they zero in on, that's like heavy burden, we're looking at like, we're thinking about our bills, we're thinking about, and sometimes we minimize what's a big deal to them. Yeah. And those feelings gets ignored and doesn't get addressed, know?
They didn't get to the bill part yet.
No. We're quick to say, "Oh, you don't know what stress is."
Exactly.
Right.
So you just wait a while. But how do you describe the work that you do with the lifestyle ministries?
So our series, we make it very relatable. We make it so relatable to them. One thing you don't want to do when you're in front of any audience, whether they're adults or they're youth, you want to make sure that you're speaking things that they can relate to. Number one. Number two, you need to be relatable to them. So we think of topics. And one of the topics that we started was with how do you forgive after you've been disappointed? Because that's real, It's like, how can we walk them through that? Some don't know the word the way we know the word. And then we need to be an example to that. We talk about the things they go through with school, even with the pandemic, how scary it was for them, what their thoughts were. Some lost family members too. How do you still trust and believe in God after someone in your family member was just taken away? So we really hit topics, we don't sugarcoat anything, and we really, unfold the real things that's happening to them. So we set up topics, one of the topics we had boldness, how to be bold, the difference between being bold and being disrespectful. Disrespectful doesn't mean bold, boldness. So that's how we navigate those series.
Yeah. How can we get or how can more people get involved in the work that you guys are doing?
I would definitely say to just reach out to our church. Our number is 914-632-3627. And definitely give a call, leave a message if you're interested. Our lifestyle series actually is not just with the youth. Every week we provide a series: savvy singles, married couples, and discipleship. Wow. So every week we change it up. Yes, this is for everybody. We definitely wanted to make sure that everybody was able to get a piece of that action, which we also we air on Thursdays at 7:30. Every week it's just a different topic.
So y'all break bread and everything. Well, wait a minute, you were doing it virtual. Is it hybrid now? You can do virtual?
No, it's still virtual. It's still virtual. Yes, the pastor gives his sermons on Sunday. We have Bible study on Wednesday. Then we even have something called on Tuesdays. We have just 10 minutes. Somebody come on Tuesday just to give a word of encouragement. So we're doing a lot of stuff online, something that's new for us, but we're getting good feedback.
Where do we go to go online? Where can we watch you online?
nucnr.org.
nucnr.org?
.org, yes. And then we have our YouTube channel under our name, New Union Church of New Rochelle.
New Union Church of New Rochelle. New Row in the house.
Yes, it is not that far, believe it or not. We're not that far.
No, that's the New Bronx, New Rochelle.
And it's
like it's part of the Bronx. Kind of.
It's so funny how things happen, because when I was 18, 19, I would come up to New Rochelle at this club called Carib. Never would have thought. Yes, you know it. Never would have thought in a million
I used to be the host there.
Oh my goodness. Love that place. Love that, back.
I was the guy on the microphone. I was doing a live broadcast back to WBLS.
Look, yes.
Club Carib, yeah.
So it's just amazing, the 360, what happens, 10, 11 years later, the Lord snatched me up and now I'm going to his house, praise dancing for him.
There you go. Right. Give us that number one more time.
The number is 914-632-3627.
There you go. New Union Church of New Rochelle.
New Rochelle, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Letitia. Thank you.
Thank you for having me and letting me share.
Youth Minister Letitia Davis. Thank you. And praise God, and may God continue to bless you and put a hedge of protection around you and your family and everybody in the congregation.
I received that. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. We'll take a break. I've got more open coming up next. Don't move. Doc Bob Lee, welcome back, everybody. Hey, our next guest is an author of the children's book, Mouse in the Cup. There's a mouse in the cup. What would you do? Well, she's here to speak about what inspired her latest work. So please welcome to the show, Angel Hall. Angel, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and so blessed. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Angel, you're welcome. What inspired you to become an author? Is this your first book?
Yes, this is my first book. The crazy thing is January 2nd of 2020, I woke up like startled out of my sleep. And I woke up with all the answers. I had a dream, actually. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. I found a mouse in my cup in October 2018. And I took a picture of it and kept it and didn't know why. January 2nd, I woke up and dreamt about the characters, dreamt about the story. And I sat straight up and I said, oh, I got it. And I drew it out. And my roommates, that were there at the time, Rico and Love, that illustrated the book, shout out to them because they are completely amazing. They're down in Atlanta right now. They drew it out for me and digitized it for me. And, my mom and the publishing company and everything was just green light after green light after green light. It was just so wonderful. And I always knew, that I had a way with words. I always knew that I could touch people with what I say.
Yeah.
And I feel like with everything that's going on, the thing that is being neglected the most to me is our Black children.
Yeah, exactly.
My company is to create a sense of community, self-love, and to rebuild the Black family. Because I feel like that's what we need most of all right now, is that sense of community. While our soldiers on the front line, they march and protest for our freedom. I stay and I teach the children who they are, that they should love themselves. And children run the household. And what better way to change the household than to change the mind of the children?
I know, we talk about that all the time. People listening to our
Exactly.
radio station, they all jump in the car and the children control the radio.
And it's the same thing. And I witness it all the time. They say, mommy, such and such mommy wouldn't act like that, or such and such mommy wouldn't say that, or such and such daddy wouldn't do that, all the time. And they soak up so much and they teach us so much in the same instance. And sometimes they will point out our faults and have you step back like, wait a minute. Now, if a child told me this, maybe I need to change something,
So what was the conversation in the car ride?
What do you mean?
You had a conversation in the car ride, the moment that led you to writing the book.
Well, I was asleep. I manifest in my sleep. I pick out my clothes, I plan my day, I write books in my sleep, literally.
Yeah.
And when I woke up and I told my circle about this dream and the book, everybody was on board.
Do you have a pen next to the bed?
No. And what's crazy is I don't remember writing the book.
Wow.
Like you ever see iRobot when Sonny was drawing the massive robots under the bridge and he was just kind of like this? That's how I felt. Like I had to come to grab some water and house it because I left. I let the ancestors use me. And this is what I came out with. And the book is so cute and it's so heartfelt, and the conversation and the bond between the parents, the mother and the father and the daughter, the mother and the daughter, is quite heartwarming. Yeah. It's a bedtime story, it's a reading story, and it's just it's got a lot of great moments in it.
Yeah. So how do you make the connection between the mouse in the cup, the mouse in my cup?
Well, like I said, it was based on a true story. So I just transformed it into a children's book.
Yeah. Was the mouse alive?
Yes. Yes.
He said, I'm going to sleep in this cup. This is my cup.
It was crazy. It was so cute because he didn't move. He didn't try to jump or, act crazy. He just sat there. He just looked up at me with those big old beady eyes.
Well, he was letting you know, I have a story for you.
He did.
But when you tell a story, make sure you mention me.
Right. He said, I'm the reason. Don't you leave me out. I got it. I heard you, mouse. I got it.
Did you keep him as a pet for a little while?
No, it was the middle of the night. I woke up to splashing. And I'm like, there are no kids here. Like, why do I hear somebody playing it? Y'all better not be playing in that toilet. Like, that's how I
You could have shared a spot with Ross for a little while.
Listen,
Yasmine
he tried to run. I put him outside and he tried to run back in. I'm like, no, you gotta take the long way. You have to take the long way.
Yeah. Well, see, a good story came out of that. Mouse in my cup.
Absolutely. Wow. And I've actually finished the rough draft for my second book is called I Love My Brown Eyes.
I was gonna say, where do we go from here?
I'm on
my
it.
Brown Eyes.
I actually have 3 series written now. I have one for the little Black girls, I have one for the little Black boys, and then I have one for special needs kids. I have the next 36 titles written out. Okay.
Wow.
Now this second, there's going to be 12 books in each series. Now this second book wasn't planned. What happened was I was at my godson's birthday party, and his father is Polish, so which means that he's half white. And my cousin is his mother, so there were little kids, playing, and the little Black girl says to the little white girl, "Oh my gosh, I love your blue eyes. They're so beautiful. I wish I had blue eyes. I hate my brown eyes." And I had to stop her. I said, "What? Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now?" And she was like, "What? I hate my brown eyes." I said, "No, what's wrong with her?" She never answered.
That's like one of the hair stories,
Mm-hmm.
I hate my hair.
Mm-hmm. And I said, if you knew what your eyes could do, if you knew the protection that they provided you, if you knew the things that they could see, you would never say that about your brown eyes again.
And we have a song for her. Pretty brown eyes.
Yes.
Pretty brown eyes. Yeah,
yes.
love your eyes. Love
So
yourself.
so my next book is called I Love My Brown Eyes. And, you know, I mentioned, you know, how they shine like jewels, and I love my cheeks and my brown ears and my hands and my legs and just every single part of my brown body.
Yes.
And that's the self-love that I want to instill in these kids. And not only do I want them to see, you know, see themselves in these books, but I want them to take something from it.
Yeah.
I want them to
Did
have
your creativity really come out during the pandemic?
Yes. I mean, the crazy thing is a book is something that I have been mulling over, but I didn't know what it is that I was going to write about or how I was going to start it. So that's when I had the dream, it all came, all the people in that dream, all of my life's puzzle pieces came together. That's why I sat straight up and so startled, because I knew then and there what my purpose was, what I was going to do the rest of my life, what my foundation is for this empire that I'm building, the love, the joy, the knowledge, the wokeness that I'm about to create.
You feel woke? You feel woke?
I had some orange juice, hunty, okay? I had me
so this is your power, this is your purpose driven life right about now.
Yes, you know,
this is it.
Once I realized who I was, what I am, you know, and have that power within me to manifest whatever it is so my heart desires, then it became very easy. Very easy. I came up with something that will educate our kids, that everybody's on board with. Everybody do something for the kids, right?
Yeah.
Everybody love the kids. You know, because if I was to write a romance novel, not everybody likes romance novels. If I was to write an action story, not everybody likes action stories. Everybody got kids.
Everybody. So now you have a third book too that you're working on. All these dreams that just keep on dreaming.
Well, I want to get started on my series after, but I Love My Brown Eyes came to me at the party. So I said, this is important. So I take my real life situations and I turn them into children's books.
Yeah. How about the third book?
Well, the third book, I want to get started on my series. So I think I'm going to get back to Jayla after this one is published. If the ancestors don't send me any more messages by then to write a different book. And I'm going to just continue to follow suit.
The dreams keep coming and the messages keep coming.
They do, because I am chosen to be here. I am going to change the world.
There you go.
That's what I'm sent here for. I am here to change the world. I'm here to change minds. I'm here to change hearts. I'm here to change emotions. I'm here to turn frowns upside down.
There you go. You're an angel. You know that, right?
That's it. I mean, I was born on Valentine's Day. What more do you want?
Oh, all right.
You see how it all goes together? I'm an earthly celestial. There's nothing about me that's in an earthly celestial body. I'm an embodied goddess. This is what I'm going to do. Let my little light shine. That's it.
Let your light shine. Now, that's a whole lot of love right there. So where can we go to get more information on everything that you're doing?
Well, we're global, first of all. The book's available on Amazon, and we have our own website, kedarsbookcase.com. KEDARS bookcase.com.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much. Angel Hall, Mouse in My Cup. She's
the Amazonian author.
Yeah. Brand new author. She has a lot more coming. Stay tuned.
Sir. Yes.
Ancestors are talking, dreams are flowing.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Angel.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate love, light, and blessings to everyone. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or, if you're having any issues with ordering, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help anyone.
God bless you, Angel.
Same to you, my love. Thank you.
All right. Angel Hall, brand new author. We'll take a break. I've got more coming up next. We're open. welcome to the show, David Bleeker Adams. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee.
Now, you've been receiving donations there, a great donation from the Axel Bank family, and they've been pretty generous and they're working with you to this day.
That's right. Recently, the Axel Bank brothers, Gary Arthur and Jeffrey, made an $1,800 donation, specifically earmarked to purchase books for our library. They made it in honor of their mother, Muriel, Mickey Axelbank, who passed away here. And it's a really a wonderfully touching and appropriate gift because she was the director here from 1977 to 1985 because she really valued reading and the importance of reading to children every day. Because what their donation will allow us to do.
That's excellent. So give us a little history of the Marble Hill Nursery School and how it has impacted your life personally and professionally.
Marble Hill Nursery School is an old school. We go back to 1953. We were founded in the Marble Hill houses, NYCHA housing right here in Marble Hill neighborhood of the Bronx, as a parent cooperative. So parent involvement is key. And we were founded as flag bearers for progressive education. And progressive education goes back to the early 1900s, but it's still something really important for kids. And it was something that Mickey Axelbank definitely campaigned for here. Progressive education means hands-on, not worksheets, children learning through active exploration of materials. And it values every child as an individual, a unique individual, and every family. And there've only been one director in between me and Muriel, Mickey Axelbank, Karen Warshell. So it's a very direct link. And one of the she was known for was making every single child, every single parent feel comfortable in school. And that's a foundation to feeling confident and connected with education. So that really speaks to her emphasis on treating everyone as an individual, respecting each individual. And all of that is very much alive here today still.
David, what stands out in your mind? Any things that you remember that was outstanding or that you can remember along the years that you spent there at the school? I know one of the things is the way Mickey treated the parents and the students. She gave that personal care and attention.
She was known also for her sense of humor and being for a colleague that the staff treasured and a personality that was treasured by children and parents. For example, you know, her name was Muriel, but she liked to say that she was born in the same year as Mickey Mouse. And people call her Mickey. And the kids thought that was very funny. And that was right away kind of an icebreaker with children and families and a reflection of who she was.
Yeah, that's great. You know, I like that. But you took over after she left? I have been the director just for the last 2 years. And Karen Warshell, who was the director in between Mickey Axelbank and myself, Karen started and worked with Mickey and took over as director afterward. I don't know that Mickey, I don't think she necessarily would have chosen to leave at that point, but she was unfortunately widowed. And she needed to go to the Board of Ed to get benefits and everything. We're still fighting that fight, but we're getting more parity between the community-based schools and the Board of Ed schools. So it's a very direct link between Mickey Axelbank and myself through the stories that Karen has told me about working with her. And also another thing that was really important that Mickey Axelbank did was during the financial crisis of the 70s, you remember the late 70s and what was going on in New York City,
overnight, Marble Hill Nursery School was defunded by the city and was forced to scramble and find new sources of funding. And Mickey Axelbank steered the school and working with the board through that process. Karen said that she remained calm and good-humored, which is definitely something for me to aspire to, because we've gone through, all the craziness of the pandemic, and I don't know if I've always stayed calm and good-humored, but I've done my best.
Well, thank you for your service. Do you have any like live testimonials? Any students that come back and say, "Hey," and they come back and share their stories?
I had years ago, twins in my class. They were very, very different, and I ran into the parent about 4 or 5 years later, and she said that she thought of Marble Nursery School and my classroom and myself just about every day. And she said that was because I helped her appreciate how different they were and appreciate each of them for their own qualities. She stopped comparing them and saying, well, this one is better at that, or this one is better at that, and really appreciating them as very distinct people. Yeah. I had another instance of a parent who came up to me and said, you used to talk to my husband when he picked up my son, and you always told him all the great things that our son was doing. And he really began to appreciate our son in a new way because of you. So when parents come up to you and they get teary, and this is why we do it. It's moments like that that make it all worthwhile. When you ask yourself, am I making a difference? Is my life making some difference in the world? Is it all worth it? It's when a parent comes up to you and they're getting teary and they're telling you how much it meant to them. And when they do that, they're not teary because, oh, you taught my son that, not all vehicles have 4 wheels. They're teary because of the way that you help their children believe in themselves, or you help the parents connect and appreciate with their children. And Gary told a similar story about running into a parent, a grown-up man in his 40s, and he was with his mother, Mickey Axelbank, and this man recognized her from preschool 8 years before, knew her name, had not forgotten her, and said that she was his favorite teacher, and he always remembered her because when he started school, he was very scared, he was very nervous, and she made him feel comfortable. She made him feel like he belonged there, and it was a huge impact.
Where can we go for more information or make donations?
Please go to marblehillnurseryschool.org. We are, like all public schools, we're always raising money. We use the money we raise to supplement what happens in the classroom, to provide speech and language pathologists, music class, dance class. And it's very important to us that that's equally accessible to all children, that there's no charge. We fundraise it for it. Those who find themselves to be in the lucky position where they're more able to help out, and then it's something available to all.
All right. Thank you so much. Give us that website again.
www.marblehillnurseryschool.org. You just have to really remember Marble Hill Nursery School, put that in your search engine, and you'll get us.
There you go. The director of Marble Hill Nursery School, David Blika Adams. We appreciate you and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee.
All righty. Thank you, David. Hey, if you're involved in sports, you love sports, kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Guess who's coming up next? Bobby C with the latest in the world of sports. On deck next.
Our guest this morning is the former strength and conditioning coach of the New York Yankees. Welcome to BronxNet, Jeff Mengold. How are you?
Bobby, good morning. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very exciting times for you. I know that you've got a new book that's out, and I was hoping that you could tell me and the fans at home all about it.
Yeah, it's called Power and Pinstripes with my co-writer, Peter Body of the New York Post, who did a great job of assisting me in this and a lot of research on the dates and scores and so forth. And from my many years of experience with the Yankees and with the Mets in the capacity of a strength and conditioning coach, it gives me a very unique setting, both on the field, actually in the setting of being on the bench, but also the time periods that I would have one-on-one or in a group session with the players in the weight room, and airplanes, buses, you name it, just a little behind the scenes stories and shared thoughts throughout the years. But I thought it'd be an excellent opportunity of being in a unique setting to be able to share that with fans.
100%. Yeah, I mean, and so Power and Pinstripes ends up hitting the bookshelves just recently in the month of May. And as you mentioned, being strength and conditioning coach for the Yankees, 2 stints in the Bronx, 1984 through 1988, and then in between with the Mets from 98 through 2006. You were back with the Yankees, but in between that 4-year stint with the Mets. So for the younger fans, the team won 9 straight division titles under your care, and that includes 5 World Series appearances and winning 3 championships. Aside from the winning, what was the biggest difference between the 2 stints in the Bronx?
The difference between my first tenure and the second would be the facilities that were available, especially when we would travel on the road to the various ballparks. During the 80s, we were utilizing storerooms, utilizing makeshift facilities to train and to work out versus the state-of-the-art facilities that are now in place.
The book really dives into a wide spectrum of personalities. I mean, just the managers alone that you were there for, from Joe Torre to Lou Piniella and Billy Martin among them. What was the hardest part of trying to capture those personalities accurately, especially after so much time has passed?
It comes to a matter of them trusting you and to accept you. And I've learned throughout the years that, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And that's for a reason, to be a good listener and to slowly utilize your personality that you have or that I have, and to slowly let the players come to me. On the onset, I would mention to them, listen, I'm here for your assistance, but to assist you in any capacity, whether I like to see the programs that you've done utilized in the past, whether that be Mike Messina or Jason Giambi or Alex Rodriguez, coming from different ball clubs, and not to try to just dominate them and say, this is what we're going to do, but just to slowly watch them work, and then in due time to interact a little bit where they'll go, Jeff, what do you think what do you think I might be able to add here or subtract a little bit,
And I know that you don't work for the team anymore, but you talk about kind of having that trust and that relationship, but were you worried about sharing these behind the scenes stories, even if it is now after the fact that you don't work for the Yankees anymore?
I think it's enlightening, if anything, and there's nothing that is really going to throw somebody under the bus, but if they feel that way, that's fine. It's as long as it's the truth. And that's where I come from, so that everything that is in the book is the truth. And it's whether that is stated from depositions that I was involved with regarding the Roger Clemens era in that segment with Brian McNamee. And I'm just stating what I went through, what was on my plate at the time. And it offers the ability for our for the readers and the fans to realize somehow dealing with problems within your business or within your team.
Yeah, I mean, you also mentioned so many of the training methods that you put together for those great Yankee championship teams, and really super interesting stuff because, you know, you look at that 1998 team, Jeff. I mean, what a special season for the Yankees, maybe the greatest ever. I mean, 125 and 50, and you were working closely with all those players that year.
I think the number one aspect of that is chemistry. It is not something that you can really try to build towards that regarding as a general manager or administrative staff with Brian Cashman's lead, but you really don't know how individuals are going to gel. But this group, it just had a chemistry where guys had fun, guys would get on each other, but in a long year, there's going to be struggles. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be people upset with each other, but the common denominator is when they crossed the lines to compete, they all knew what the goal was. That was to be the last team standing.
And I love some of the stories too. I think of so many of the postseason legends from that particular era, and some great stories about Luis Sojo. He was one of my mom's favorite players. What a postseason legend he was, and you had some great stories in the book about him.
Yeah, he knew his role, and that part of his role was to be a mentor to the Latin ball players, but also as a conduit, and to make them feel at home with the team, and just to lead by example, and that to stay ready. Louis didn't start a lot of games. He'd be plugged in there every once in a while, but the main thing is to be ready. You never know when your number is going to be called. And we had a handful of those players on that 98 team.
And it's pretty cool too how a shard from a baseball bat plays such a large story in this book.
That's true. Again, it comes down to in life, a lot of things are about timing. And as I'll read in the book, that the Roger Clemens and Mike Piazza 2000, World Series 2000 incident, somebody came up with the barrel of that bat that had it for many years. So I think the readers will find out who had it and what was done with it.
When you're speaking of legends, you're also the foreword for your book is put together by Mariano Rivera, and you explain in the book just how incredible an athlete he is and was. I think it was cool to read about the fast twitch muscles and just what an incredible player he was, Mariano Rivera. From covering the team all these years, I think about him shagging balls in the outfield. I think he easily could have been the next great Yankee center fielder.
I think he'd rather have played center than pitch. He's very gifted. God blessed him with athleticism, as we talked about, to be a very explosive athlete. And that's something you get from your parents, heredity, as far as speed and power and ability to generate force. But with Mariano, it was also his psychological makeup, that he was just so relaxed, so confident, and that he was, in his mind, he just felt that he was born to do this, and that God gave him the ability and the talent to do this. And he was so at home in the position that he would be in all the stressful situations that he would be in. It didn't bother him.
Well, Jeff, I've had the pleasure of reading the book, but I wanted to give you a chance in closing here to advocate to the fans at home why they should pick up a copy.
There's going to be stories that they've never heard before, or just the unwrapping possibly of some of the big stars and the big players, some of Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill, to let the fans get to know them a little bit and to share some of their concerns throughout the season when they play. Maybe it's surprisingly, maybe a lack of confidence at certain time periods. I think our fans think that, wow, these stars, these players, these guys that are so successful, they have just an unbridled ability to maintain confidence. But many times, these guys get down on themselves, and it's the challenge to to move forward. Defeat is just temporary. You've got to get back up there and fight again.
Absolutely, Jeff. Super time. And, like I said, a terrific read. I appreciate you taking time with us this morning. Power and Pinstripes is available through Triumph Books and all major book retailers, including Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Bobby, thanks for having me.
Welcome back. Our last guests are Senior Vice President, Senior Commercial Loan Officer, and Associate Vice President and Relationship Manager of Orange Bank and Trust Company. Now, they are here to speak about the brand new grand opening of their new branch in the Bronx. I can't wait. And to highlight the new service that the bank has to offer our borough. And, it's going to be really, really nice. And I want you to hear all about it. So please welcome to the show, Anthony Mormile and Vanessa Baisnoff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys?
Good, Dr. Lee. How are you doing today?
Thank you.
Great, great, great. I guess we can begin by tell us how long the bank has been in operation, and tell us about some of your roles that you are operating in within the bank.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Well, the bank, Orange Bank and Trust, has been around over 130 years. It's been around a long time.
Yeah.
In Orange County, and we're expanded down to the Westchester, Rockland, and now, and I'm very excited about it, is the Bronx County. My role here is to grow the Bronx marketplace for the bank. I'm born and raised here, so I'm excited about being able to give back to the Bronx as a person that got a lot from the Bronx. I am the commercial loan officer for the area also. And I'll introduce you to Vanessa Baisnoff, who is the relationship manager, branch manager.
Hi, Dr. Lee.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you. So I would like to believe that I will be the bridge for Orange Bank and Trust and the community. I'll serve as the manager, and also, living and working in the area. I believe I would bring the local Bronx name and the local Bronx attitude, where community and banking needs.
That's great. Do you guys service nonprofits?
Yes, Dr. Lee. We cover the gamut of from not-for-profits and for-profit businesses. We look at not-for-profits because they're an essential part of what the Bronx, how the Bronx operates and the success of the Bronx. And I believe we did some statistics years ago, and the Bronx is probably the largest not-for-profits than any other borough. So we're excited to serve the not-for-profits on the deposit side as well as the lending side. And more importantly, we give back to the community, which is really important. When we started this bank, or the founding family, the Morrison family started this bank 130 years ago, they gave back to their local communities in a lot of different ways. And we want to continue to carry that heritage on in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to note, Dr. Lee, that we don't only look to bring in the finances, but we also engage on the personal level. And to just take you a little bit back, during the pandemic, we've contributed a lot towards the food banks, towards the EMS. And we've also locally in the Bronx had the first parade in order to spread hope, which Orange Bank, supported fully.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we like to believe that we not only say that we're a brick and mortar, but we're engaged.
All right now. What sets Orange Bank apart from other institutions?
In my opinion, it's the way we deliver the service. I believe that the Bronx it has a big need for a local community bank. I think a lot of the larger banks have gone away from the servicing side of it. So the way we deliver our service, one, we personalize the service, actually giving out our cell number, actually being in contact with our clients, not just 9 to 5, all day and night as they need us, and even on weekends. And number two, the technology that we have is comparable to the larger bank technology. So you can do most of your banking in your office. And then at the same time, be able to pick up the phone and call somebody who's going to actually pick up the phone and get back to you with an answer. Because remember, we're your bankers. You run your business. We'll do the banking for you. That's very important to us.
Also, we really do believe, Dr. Lee, that for communities to actually strive, small businesses need to grow. What we also do is hold your hand. When it comes to local organizations and small businesses, when it comes to women-owned businesses, we'll actually, collaborate with local organizations and we'll hold your hand, especially with the MWBE certification. That's something we're very involved in already, right? And also for all of this to happen, we've gathered our deposits locally and we give back locally, we lend locally, we help to expand your capital, we help to build. So we actually are in the community, getting our hands dirty, helping you.
I like that. Yeah, I'm a community guy, and I visit schools and nonprofits. Is there any sort of financial literacy workshops that we can grasp hold of that the bank is doing in our community?
Yeah, Dr. Lee, I think that's so important because even in the grammar schools, the high schools, I don't think financial literacy has been taught very much to the children, especially the high school students, because everybody, I don't care who you are, what you do, you're either going to have to write checks, you're going to have to balance your own checkbook, you're going to have to know about credit and debt. And a lot of kids, even when they get into college, are getting heavily into debt. And they don't understand what's happening there.
Yeah.
I think it's important. It's part of our job to teach people about financial literacy and teach them the basics so they understand, so they get to a point as they get older, how to handle and manage their own money, because that's so critical. And Vanessa will say a little bit more too. She's very involved with that.
So, Dr. Lee, I truly believe that for community reinvestment, it's a cycle. Our future is our youth. And many times, oftentimes, I would see to write a deposit ticket is something that could be rocket science.
Yeah.
And we've designed programs at every level, and we tell them in the form of a story, and we give life experiences. And I'll give you a perfect example. Only this morning, I was invited by the Rotary Club of the Bronx to present at a local level to help youth. Now, it's a simple program, and it's designed in such a way to teach you about your financial future and how to secure that. In turn, what Orange Bank will see and the community and the whole will see, our youths are going out there being more productive, and it works for us. And the cycle continues in a positive way, we hope.
There you go. I like that. How do you intend to support potential business owners in our community? There's a lot of businesses had trouble during the pandemic, and now we're opening up, and a lot of them still need help.
Okay, I think they first of all, a lot of the businesses in the area just need someone to listen to what their needs are. We don't listen enough. We talk a lot, we don't listen. So we want to listen to what their needs are, and then be able to respond with the financial products to service those needs. And right now, what's nice about Orange Bank and being a local bank is that all the decision making is all local. Okay, it's made within the bank. Two, we understand that it's not one size fits all. So when we're listening to them, we're trying to figure out a structure on a loan side, financial side, the lending side, of how to structure their deal so it works into their proper cash flow. Because again, it doesn't, not one loan fits everyone's
Yeah.
financial condition. So one, listening to them, two, having the necessary products and services to support them, and three, sometimes we need to be able to provide them alternatives like other sources of, like Vanessa was saying, but MWBE, maybe get them certified. We have the ability to do that and to reach out to other organizations that we're involved with to help them.
When is the bank going to officially open? And what location?
We are excited. I would say, fingers crossed, within the next couple of weeks, we should have the approval. We're waiting for the C of O, which should be coming very shortly. And we're opening up in 1978 Williamsbridge Road, which is right next to Enzo's restaurant, which many people are familiar with. And we're ready to service this community. And we're hoping that it's just the beginning that if we do, and I know we're going to do very well here, we've been seeing some great responses from the local community, that we can even maybe expand to multiple branches down the road.
I love it. Where can people go for more information on the bank opening and all the things that all the services, all the things that you guys are doing?
Well, one, we're going to be doing a lot of marketing and advertising. They're welcome to come into our branch at any point in time. We can go to Orange Bank's website. We'll have additional information. We'll be advertising on BronxNet, of course, and other avenues, the local paper. But more importantly, feel free to come in, have a cup of coffee with us. We'll have coffee going.
Absolutely.
And get back to the original way banking was done.
There you go. So if anyone's looking for a personal banker, you can go in and shake their hand. You can have some coffee with them.
Absolutely.
Sit down, maybe even have breakfast with them sometime.
Absolutely.
This is the place to go to. You're looking for that personal touch. That's what a lot of people are looking for.
It's all about relationship building. It's all about relationship building.
Yes, yes. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing. And thank you for your partnership.
No, my pleasure, Dr. Lee. Thank you for all you guys do at BronxNet.
Thank you.
There you go. Anthony Mormile and Vanessa Batesnoff, thank you guys so much. We love you and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that about does it for us here. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking it all out. Remember this, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. We'll catch you another day, another way, and I'll see you over 107.5 WVLS. Love you all. Peace.
This show is sponsored by Orange Bank and Trust Company, your local bankers who know the area and the financial landscape.